The morning of my wedding dawned bright and clear, but my stomach was in knots. Not from the usual pre-wedding jitters, but because I knew what was coming. My family would be there, and they never missed an opportunity to remind me of my perceived failures. I stood in the modest bridal suite of the local country club, smoothing down my simple white dress. It wasn't a designer label or dripping with crystals, but it was elegant and exactly what I wanted. My best friend Kate adjusted my veil, her eyes meeting mine in the mirror. "You look beautiful, Sophia," she said firmly, reading the anxiety on my face. "Don't let them get to you today." I forced a smile, but we both knew who them meant. The Martinez family, my family, where success was measured only by the size of your house and the brand of your car. Where my sister Isabella's job as vice president at Martinez Technologies made her the golden child, while my own achievements remained carefully hid. A knock at the door made me flinch. "Sophia, are you decent?" My mother's voice carried that familiar note of disappointment she perfected over the years. "Come in, Mom." She entered, wearing a designer dress that probably cost more than my entire wedding budget. Her eyes swept over me, cataloging every detail she found lacking. Behind her, Isabella sauntered in, draped in haute couture. "Oh, Sophia," my mother sighed, shaking her head. "Couldn't you have at least tried to find something more suitable? This looks like it came from a department store." "It's perfect for her, Mother," Isabella smirked. "After all, what else can you expect from someone who works as a business consultant?" She made air quotes around my job title. "At least James loves her enough to marry her, despite everything." If they only knew. If they had any idea that my consulting work was actually running Phoenix Industries, one of the largest technology consulting firms in the country. The same company their precious Martinez Technologies was desperately trying to secure a contract with. But they didn't know. Nobody did. I'd built my company from the ground up using a different name, keeping my success hidden for years. Even my fiancé James had only learned the truth a month ago. "The ceremony starts in an hour," my mother announced. "Try not to embarrass us too much, Sophia. The Martinez name still means something, even if you never lived up to it." After they left, Kate squeezed my shoulder. "Just a few more hours, then you can tell them everything." I nodded, touching the simple pearl necklace at my throat, the only piece of jewelry I wore besides my engagement ring. They're in for quite a surprise. The ceremony itself was beautiful in its simplicity. James waited for me at the altar, his eyes shining with love and knowledge of what was to come. We'd planned this carefully, timing everything perfectly. At the reception it started. My family worked the room, making sure everyone knew which Martinez daughter was the successful one. Isabella held court at her table, loudly discussing her latest business acquisition. "Of course, once Martinez Technology secures the Phoenix contract, we'll be unstoppable," she boasted. "I'm meeting their CEO next week. It's practically a done deal." I checked my watch. Right on time, my phone buzzed. I excused myself from the table, giving James a subtle nod. "Poor Sophia," I heard Isabella say as I walked away. "She can't even afford a proper wedding. Did you see that dress? And this venue? So quaint." My mother chimed in. "At least she found someone to marry her. Though I don't know how they'll survive on her tiny consultant salary." I stepped outside just as the sound of jet engines filled the air. Heads turned as my private jet, emblazoned with the Phoenix Industries logo, made a perfect landing on the country club's private airstrip. James appeared at my side, taking my hand. "Ready?" I squared my shoulders, feeling the weight of years of dismissal and degradation fall away. "It's time." We walked back into the reception hall, where my family was clustered by the windows, staring at the jet. Isabella's face had gone pale. That's the Phoenix Industries jet," she stammered. "What is it doing here?" I cleared my throat, and the room fell silent. "I have an announcement to make." Every eye turned to me as I stood in the center of the room, no longer the disappointing daughter, but the CEO I truly was. The next few minutes would change everything, and I was ready. "I believe we have a meeting scheduled next week, Isabella," I said calmly. "But since we're all here now, why don't we discuss that contract you're so certain about?" The color drained from her face as understanding slowly dawned. Behind her, my mother grabbed the back of a chair for support. "No," Isabella whispered. "It's not possible." But it was, and now they would finally learn just how possible it was. The silence in the reception hall was deafening. I could almost hear the wheels turning in Isabella's head as she tried to process what was happening. My mother's perfectly maintained composure cracked, her champagne glass trembling in her manicured hand. You're saying... Isabella couldn't even finish the sentence. Sophia Martinez Chen, CEO of Phoenix Industries, I stated clearly, my voice carrying across the stunned room. Though you might know me better as SB Chen, the mysterious founder you've been desperately trying to meet. My father, who had been quietly standing in the corner all evening, suddenly stepped forward. This is impossible. Phoenix Industries is a multi-billion-dollar company. You're just a consultant. I smiled, remembering all the times they dismissed my little consulting business over family dinners. Would you like to see my business card? Or perhaps the company ownership documents? I'm sure Isabella has them somewhere in her pitch folder. Isabella's face flushed red. She had indeed brought her business materials to my wedding, hoping to network with guests. Now that same folder felt like evidence of her unwitting humiliation. The jet, my mother whispered, still staring out the window at the gleaming aircraft with my company's logo. Is mine, I confirmed, along with the other 12 in our fleet, and the building your company is trying to lease for its new headquarters. I own that too. The memories flooded back, every dismissive comment, every mockery of my career choices, every family gathering where I was treated like a cautionary tale while Isabella was praised as the model of success. 10 years ago, I continued, my voice steady. When I left Martinez Technologies to start my own business, you told everyone I failed, that I couldn't handle the pressure of a real job. What you didn't know was that I'd already secured contracts with 3 major tech companies under my business alias. James stood beside me, his hand supportive on my back. He'd discovered my secret when his investment firm tried to acquire a controlling interest in Phoenix Industries. Instead of being angry at my deception, he understood why I kept it hidden. The consulting firm you all mocked, it was just a front. Every time you bragged about Martinez Technology's success, Isabella, my company was actually providing the software infrastructure you depended on through shell corporations. Those breakthrough innovations you took credit for? They came from my development team. Isabella sank into a chair, her designer dress crumpling. The Phoenix contract, we need it. The board is counting on it. Without it, Martinez Technologies will lose its market position within 6 months. I finished for her. I know, I've seen your financials. My mother finally found her voice. Why didn't you tell us? We're family. The word family sparked something in me, years of pent-up emotions finally breaking free. Family? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. Was it family when you told my college counselor not to waste time on my applications because I'd never amount to anything? Was it family when you excluded me from business dinners because I'd embarrass you? Or perhaps it was family when you told James's parents that they should reconsider the marriage because I couldn't provide the lifestyle they were accustomed to. Kate appeared at my side, handing me a folder. Inside were photos, documents, and emails. A decade's worth of evidence showing how I'd built my empire while my family was busy underestimating me. Your company needs this contract, I said, addressing Isabella directly. But Phoenix Industries has a strict policy against toxic corporate culture. And from what my team has observed, Martinez Technologies has some serious issues in that department. Isabella's face went from red to white. She knew exactly what I meant. Her management style was notorious for its brutality. However, I continued, I'm willing to offer you a different deal. One that could save the company, but with some significant changes in leadership. My father stepped forward, his business instincts kicking in. What kind of changes? Complete restructuring of the executive board, new management policies, and Isabella. I turned to my sister, who couldn't meet my eyes. You'll need to step down as VP. The gasps around the room were audible. Isabella jumped to her feet. You can't do this. Daddy, tell her she can't do this. But our father was a businessman first. He could see the writing on the wall. She can, and she has every right to. The question is, why would you help us at all? I looked around the room at my gathered family members, the aunts, uncles, and cousins who had witnessed years of my humiliation. They were all watching now, their expressions a mix of shock, embarrassment, and dawning respect. Because despite everything, Martinez Technologies was our grandfather's legacy. He built it from nothing, just like I built Phoenix. I won't let it fail. I paused, letting my words sink in. But I won't let it continue to be a monument to arrogance and cruelty either. I nodded to James, who began distributing sealed envelopes to key family members. Inside, you'll find the terms of Phoenix Industries' proposed restructuring of Martinez Technologies. You have until Monday to decide. My mother stood frozen, the envelope trembling in her hands. All this time, all these years. Yes, I said simply. All these years, you had 2 successful daughters. You just couldn't see past your own prejudices to recognize it. I turned to the rest of our wedding guests, many of whom were watching the scene unfold with rapt attention. Now, I believe this is still a celebration. James and I would love for you all to join us on our private island for the reception continuation. The jet can accommodate 30 passengers per trip. As if on cue, the wedding planner began coordinating with guests for the transfers. My family remained rooted in place, still processing everything that had happened. Isabella finally spoke, her voice small. The contract was never real, was it? You never intended to give it to us. No, I confirmed. But this offer is real. It's your chance to be part of something better. Your choice. I took James's hand and turned to leave for the jet. My father's voice stopped me. Sophia, I'm sorry. I looked back at him, seeing for the first time something I'd always wanted to see, respect. I know, Dad, Monday morning, 9 a.m. Don't be late. As James and I walked out to the waiting jet, I heard the whispers behind us, felt the stares. But for the first time in my life, they didn't hurt. I'd finally shown them who I really was, not the person they'd chosen to see. Kate caught up with us at the jet's stairs. That was epic. But what happens now? I smiled, looking back at the country club where my family was still huddled, their world thoroughly shaken. Now they learn that success isn't measured by how well you can tear others down, but by how many people you can lift up. James squeezed my hand as we boarded the jet, ready for the next chapter. I looked out the window at my assembled guests, my shell-shocked family, and the future stretching out before us. More than ready. After all, success is the best revenge. The jet engines roared to life, and as we took off into the sunset, I knew that my wedding day had become something more than just a celebration of love. It had become the day I finally stepped out of the shadows and into my own light. Sometimes the greatest victory isn't in keeping secrets, but in choosing the perfect moment to reveal them. And as my family would soon learn, this was just the beginning of their education in what true success looks like.